He said that you did nothing wrong?
Well, in a legal standpoint.
I was saying no, and I was scared, and that I didn't want to.
Wasn't like that, and I'm fucking tired of it.
Nothing is happening.
I know. But that's between us, and that's not gonna be public.
CameronF305 is a Floridian content creator with a long history of dramas, who has recently surged to popularity for making a quote-unquote content cop on Idubbz and Hasan. His past is laced with a number of interesting stories, but the one that is relevant to us today, the one that I hope to chronicle, starts with his humble work as a composer. Yes, his work might be atrocious, but the quality... When I think about it lately... Okay, that's enough. Anyways, Cameron had several dramas, which seem to have gone unmitigated. The main one finds its roots in the aftermath of his work as a composer for Yandere Simulator. Yandere Simulator and its creator, Yandere Dev, held a dismal reputation for years as a result of the incomplete, generally awful game, and the usage of crowdfunding money from the game for his personal goon stash. However, his reputation would go from bad to worse when he was accused of grooming. The drama would spell the end of Yandere Simulator as a cohesive project, sprouting numerous fan games in an attempt to undercut the original game, and Yandere Dev would lose most of his revenue in the backlash for his conduct. The victim, who went by a number of pseudonyms such as Jelly, would go on to meet Cameron, who produced music for Yandere Simulator as a volunteer dev. Cameron would claim that he wanted to meet Jelly in order to interview her and learn more about the grooming situation. In reality, it was to defend Yandere Dev from these allegations.
Later in the chat, Yandere Dev says, quote, "So really the only thing for me to get out of this are lewd pictures and videos to fap to," end quote. To which the minor, Jelly, responds, quote, "Which I'll provide you if you promise to keep it secret." Yandere Dev responds, "Oh, heart emoticon. I would keep it a secret, heart emoticon."
Hentai is a thing. I'm not trying to go crazy here, but it's that's not uncommon and I guess Discord communities to share NSFW artwork.
Yeah, but you're still not supposed to share it with a minor. That you can get.
I wouldn't really want to do that either.
Yeah.
Later, he'd claim it was to film a documentary about the allegations. Jelly, at the age of 16, would enter a relationship with Cameron just days later. Fast forward a short period, and the relationship turns sexual. Jelly would engage in sexual activity with Cameron in two concerning instances. Surrounding details, corroboration by all figures involved, and other details generate these narratives roughly. Instance number 1, the date. Cameron would have sex with Jelly, where he would then lift her up, continuing the act. She would ask him to stop, to which he complied. But this is where stories diverge. Cameron would make a number of defenses, we will look into later, generally claiming that he took a while to listen to her demands, whereas Jelly would claim he took a longer period of time, where she physically pounded his back with her fists. On top of begging him to stop, Cameron notes something too: her movements and the act of going nonverbal.
I was saying no, and I was scared, and that I didn't want to.
No, just in the sense of us having sex, and that can be argued because once I heard you say stop, I put you down. You were being nonverbal, and I felt awful because you were once you started squirming a bit, I felt
Squirming?
bad.
You're gonna call it squirming? I was hitting you.
Finally, he would say it was not wrong, but from a legal standpoint.
He said that you did nothing wrong?
Well, in a legal standpoint.
Both generally agree on the same tune. When asked to stop, he took a noticeably long amount of time to stop, even as the victim had made it clear that she was not consenting to being picked up during sex, though the severity to Cameron's inability to appreciate consent differs. Instance 2. Data. Cameron is driving a car with Jelly. Jelly wants to head home. It seems tied to her curfew. Cameron would then go on to trap Jelly in the car, in the dark, far from home, asking her to kiss him. She would continue to ask to leave for several minutes, explicitly saying she does not want to kiss this man, as he repeated his demand before he finally pushed her to kiss him sexually, where he then finally let her home.
How I spent like 5 minutes telling you that I didn't want to kiss you, and then you wouldn't let me go.
Haven't we already been over this? Like, you know, I feel horrible about that, and it was only because I wanted to spend more time with you. I wasn't trying to force you to do something.
But you can't just act like you didn't do anything wrong.
That's the first thing I said to you. Like, like you said, I didn't do anything wrong in the sense of, like, anything illegal. And you know, in regards to the idea of us having sex. And that's all I was talking about. Not that between, and that's why I said obviously between us, I know I made mistakes, and I feel horrible for them, because I broke a boundary that I didn't realize I was breaking, and I feel awful.
You didn't realize you were breaking it? Me telling you that I didn't want to and that I was scared?
Roughly, these details paint the picture of multiple instances of sexual assault, reciprocated with other allegations we won't get into. Ordinarily, this would be some heinous actions that would be handled with evidence, and then moved on from. What particularly interests me, and where I will unfold further evidence for these claims, comes from Cameron's response. What follows is where Cameron lays out his defenses, and it is in this defense where the situation begins to truly go off the rails. Initially, Cameron would release a countercall, where the girl, Jelly, seems to admit that what happened was not sexual assault. An immediate problem with this is found in knowledge. A victim is not capable of determining whether or not something is sexual assault or rape or neither. That is for the law to decide. In examining the details given in the case, forcefully kissing and dismissing revoked consent in sex are acts of sexual assault. He would also paint Jelly, the victim, as an unreliable liar. There have been some cases in which Anne has lied, though they are not extremely relevant to the situation. Cameron would win over the Yandere dev community with these defenses, causing the accusations to be buried for years, with the prevailing narrative among Cameron and other figures being that Jelly was completely in the wrong, and Cameron did miscellaneous mistakes, but was in the right ultimately. This was until the video I mentioned earlier dropped.
What we do here is go back.
When making content of a commentary nature, especially with a title as well known as Content Cop, one of the most beloved commentary shows that existed, you've got to have some credibility. You have to have some tact to be able to take an edgy comment or two, as the creator of Content Cop, Idubbz, did. You're not meant to be deceptive. You're not meant to be worthy of a Content Cop yourself. Commentary would soon realize that Cameron was not the next Content Cop. Small commentator Queeman was the first to sense blood in the water, and after reviewing his content, would stumble on the allegations, re-levying them into the public space. The commentary community would move quick with this information, and so would Cameron. Upon being asked about the allegations, Cameron would leave the Chud Logic Discord server, which he was using to promote his videos. Soon after, Cameron would end up calling into the stream with a large creator, FPS Diesel, who had documented prior drama with Yandere Dev. He would push the call in an interesting direction, using it to deny his rape allegation. He comes with a bizarre twist and makes up a claim that his past admission of committing sexual assault was AI.
Now, Cameron also admits to having sex in Discord calls with me multiple times back when this happened. In fact, he also comes on stream with me and beats around the bush about this, playing coy as I'm reacting to his response and really not buying some of the things that he said in it.
Oh, when did you have sex with her?
I'm not gonna say whether or not I did.
Oh, really? Are you fucking stupid?
No, Cameron.
You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You said to me, by the way, you watched the video. You said to me in the call that you were traveling to see family for Thanksgiving.
It was AI.
It was AI?
It was AI.
Are you really gonna be stupid on stream right now? Because this is not gonna be a good look.
It was a robot.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. He's doing it on purpose.
I'm working on my video right now, and I'm in a really goofy mood, so This is I was not,
Cameron,
speaking to
you're being accused of a felony, okay? And now
But I
here you
didn't
are.
commit.
From then on, the calls get weirder, as FPS Diesel is told by Cameron that he was diddled as a child in an attempt to garner sympathy, but that he cannot reveal it to anyone or he'd end his own life. Cameron, on top of lying, would try to pull out a few more manipulative tricks, but to little success. Even weirder, in a giggling fit for some bizarre reason, with these allegations in mind, he begins to say he never had sex, which is also just a random lie. After this, Cameron would attempt to push FPS Diesel to delete any segments on him, which did not go so well, and would result in Diesel instead just making a 45-minute post-mortem on the situation, the bulk of it covering Cameron. The situation begins to deteriorate even more when Cameron moves to channels like small commentator Food Shops for help, doing interviews in which he proceeds to deny the allegations and whitewash his conduct, claiming them as just minor mistakes. Not much is found from this interview besides deception. However, Food Shops later talks to another small commentator, Morale Live. Food Shops mounts efforts to defend Cameron throughout this, though she has not fully discovered the interviews.
Okay, do you think it's easy to pick up a girl from her behind to try to, I don't know, ton rape her? Like in that position to get to that point?
I don't know if she was picking. I don't know the logistics.
Okay, well, that's
of
the
how
allegation.
he was
Well,
picking her up.
that's the allegation. That's the allegation. So you better be ready.
I don't know if
Hold
it was
on,
from
that's the
behind.
allegation, right? Hold on. So, again,
You're inventing more context that we don't have. I don't know if it was from behind. I can definitely see a
That
scenario
was
where you're
literally
picking
what was
someone up in order
described.
to eat them out.
Cameron then moves to a circle jerk stream by obscure degenerate right-wing VTuber named Mama Akko, who markets himself as a male kinkster and not a transgender person, in spite of the feminine voice changer. They give an uncritical defense, but one thing is made clear by Cameron: the kissing incident did happen, and the narrative of the allegation of sexual assault holds fully true, confirmed by him inadvertently.
Thought that was her way to like go home because she was afraid of curfew. That's what was happening.
The only context Cameron cares to add is that the victim, Jelly, was far from home in the dead of night and needed to get back because of her family's curfew, considering she was under 18. For all of Cameron's numerous mentions of him being completely innocent and having not committed sexual assault, the narrative he subscribes to, by its very nature, equals sexual assault, and his lack of any remorse seems to reaffirm the dubiousness of his conduct. Cameron, for lack of a better word, is proud of it, and continues to be, as he uses Mama Akko's stream to attack the victim with a number of insults.
Told me she had BP. She thought she had BPD and was going through a manic episode. Like there was so many excuse after excuse. At this point, fuck any good faith I had for her.
The third attempt to save his reputation occurs when Cameron contacts a little-known Jewish streamer named Aiden Underground. As the interview commences, Jelly releases a comment affirming claims that she has been sexually assaulted by Cameron while she was a child. Cameron enters and then starts to dodge around Aiden's questions, on top of a bunch of other generalized attacks, of course. Cameron also points to the call where Jelly says it's not sexual assault, but it is spliced from two other parts. When asked to find the original full call, things take a turn for the worse. Cameron pretends to have found it after stalling, but then doesn't show it. Aiden presses him for the recording, to which Cameron continues to just fucking stall and pussy out endlessly. It gets so bad, he literally begins sharing and unsharing the full call to show bits and pieces. He, even according to Aiden, modifies the file, actively editing the call live, though we don't get to see this. This shit is like a clip of The Office where Scott's trying to hide the fact he's watching porn.
I can look. We're weaving here. We were on something else, but yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to. Sorry, I just don't want to like move on. Like, do you have the call or not? I just wanted to.
Let me check.
Yeah, no problem.
I know you didn't like being picked up.
But what's blatant and morbid is that this call was, in reality, not as exonerating to Cameron as he had hoped. The bits and pieces he does show feature Jelly crying in tears, agreeing with what Cameron tells her, indicating that she had been severely pressured. Cameron would conclude by being combative, attacking Aiden, and pretending everything is clear-cut in his favor, and then running off from his delusional rambles to Mama Akko for degenerate comfort. This has importance for one very special reason. Cameron would focus heavily on a passing mention by Akko of having friends who were lolicons. He would even go to the point of naming and shaming food shops, claiming he cut ties with her because of her being a lolicon.
Just as a quick aside, chat. Not a fan of lolicon. I have friends that are, but I don't care about it. I'm not interested in it.
It's strange because I like to associate with another streamer that I appeared on because when the video first blew up, I was just like,
food shops?
Yeah.
Don't talk to food shops. Food shops is.
I've learned this.
When I saw that, I was like, ugh, why food shops?
I'd never heard of this person beforehand. They invited me. I was like, oh, small commentaries. I thought I was doing something nice. Genuinely, it was a good place. I've never heard of this person. Never spoken to this person. Yeah, that was huge fucking mistake. Ever since then, once the day I learned was I think about a week ago, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I left associated. I fuck that.
I get you.
This leads to food shops finding out and reacting on stream, in which she would have a special DM exchange with Cameron. Following this exchange, the DMs would be posted by food shops as important context discussed on stream. And in those DMs, it is revealed that food shops advised Cameron to not constantly throw himself into the drama, which, as you can see, he did a very great job of not listening to. Being predicated on Cameron's own odd manipulation, he adds more to the pile in his effort to mediate the situation between him and food shops. He even goes so far as to blackmail food shops by threatening to look deeper into her, implying an effort to dig up dirt on food shops for arguing against him. This and the rest of the argument causing a noticeable breakdown in relations, which concludes with him running off and blocking food shops mid-call. The real kicker comes in when we see who Cameron runs back to for comfort. Gator is a figure from a successful underground right-wing show called The Kill Stream. He was also a complete fucking degenerate loser, and so when he stepped away from The Kill Stream, he would go viral for being a complete loser in front of lolly streamers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I have to take a picture with you.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So I can brag to Rand about it.
Okay.
And he'll be salty.
Yeah.
Take a picture. All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you
Kiki,
so
it's good
much.
to see you.
Yes, you
Have a good
too.
con. We've got the world's greatest Sawa cosplayer about to say hi.
I just noticed. Yes.
The reason for him even getting into these situations? Simple. Because he's a massive, open, fucking lolicon. Cameron, in a rage of grandstanding about lolicon, immediately runs to another lolicon for comfort. You can't make this shit up. From then on, he would continuously attempt to dodge guilt, unsuccessfully, which leads us over to another side of the story. Cameron's attempts to attack a victim on the belief they pedo-hunted when they were younger in order to get money, rewards, and satisfy a strange belief in justice. How this uncomfortable past damages the credibility of the evidence establishes anyone's guess, really, as it just seems to diminish one side's character, which doesn't mean much when we cite the corroboration of the victim's assertions, including from Cameron himself. Underwhelming, right? Well, it's one of the cruxes of Cameron's defenses, and one that he levies in several of these live interviews. Another is poised at creators once again claiming that big figures in commentary, such as Nicholas Diorio, have taken his side in the entire situation.
In the community that have talked to me and we've gone over it and it's been fine. Who like are just kind of just taking baby steps around it for now until they have like a better reason to not. Like Nick Diorio, I reached out to him and essentially what I got is he just doesn't really like doesn't matter to him. He doesn't really care.
This is entirely false, as Nicholas would soon after confirm on a live stream. What these defenses, following the food shop's call, seemed to indicate was not an attempt to prove any form of innocence, but rather dissuade creators from covering him negatively. Commentary creators might feel less inclined to cover someone who is a backing from popular elements of the community, and someone who seems unwell or like a loose cannon mentally might cause commentary to feel apprehensive to supporting them. Unfortunately for Cameron, they did not back down. With those defenses out of the way, more allegations would soon crash down on him. Cameron would bring a woman to live in his house who would come out soon after commentary scrutiny on him was in full swing, with information about a number of new allegations. Alongside the allegations is audio of Cameron harassing the woman, who repeatedly asked him to stay away, to be left alone, to have space, as she became frustrated with him. Get this. Locking her out of the home for seemingly no reason, only to play dumb as to ever doing it, while literally being inside the home the whole time.
Leave me alone. Because you locked me out, and I don't want to hear any of your lies, because I know you saw me go up by my car, you pointed your headlights at me. Now leave me alone so I can sleep at least 1 fucking hour before my eye exam.
You think I saw you? I didn't see you the second time.
Shut the fuck
I
up
looked
and
for
leave me
you.
alone.
And not everything revolves around you.
Leave me alone now.
You just walked into my room. You just walked into my room.
I just slept out there in front of the door all night. Leave me alone right now.
He would proceed to berate her numerous times. This alone is pretty bad, but it worsens when Cameron moves on to threatening to kick her out if she doesn't resolve the discussion with him and hash it out in the moment, in a burst of psychotic energy. His defense would be similar to the prior situation, but with even weaker foundations, calling her crazy on the grounds of, well, not really anything. He would be avoidant of this allegation after this. Now, where I'd like to end this off is with, as of writing, the present CameronF305 streams to tens of thousands, interacting with known Zionist Ethan Klein, a man who is actively suing pro-Palestinian activists, in a case surrounding copyright that could destroy reaction content on the internet. Cameron does so as a result of his MAGA Nazi agenda, an agenda that he's spread through alternate accounts and other media, an agenda expressed in his consistent engagement with maggot right reactionaries such as Gator, and finally, an agenda expressed through his content deputy, a second spin on his content cop, that started this whole mess. Whether you think this guy is worth watching or not, one thing is clear. Cameron will never be the next content cop.